Why does the advice to just think positive often sting instead of soothe? Why does the pursuit of happiness sometimes deepen wounds rather than heal them? Centuries ago, Marcus Aurelius observed that the quality of our thoughts shapes our happiness, yet we've diluted his wisdom into empty affirmations and forced grins. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your mind isn't wired for comfort, it's built for survival, amplifying fears and replaying anxieties until you're trapped in a cycle of self-inflicted pain. But what if true strength isn't about pretending everything's fine, but about facing the shadows you've spent a lifetime avoiding? There's a profound Stoic insight that shatters every shallow notion of positivity you've ever encountered. Once you grasp it, your struggles and yourself will never look the same again. The architect of your reality, your thoughts, aren't harmless whispers. They're powerful forces shaping your world moment by moment. It's odd how we dismiss our inner voice as mere chatter, oblivious to how it defines the limits of our potential. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Your joy and success don't begin with external events. They start with how you frame them in your mind. Imagine waking up convinced your day is doomed. You've already scripted defeat before sunrise, setting yourself up for failure. You're living a story authored by fear, not capability. The problem? Most of us never question these narratives. We mistake our perceptions for reality, unaware of how deeply they're colored by mindset. Carl Jung noted, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." How often have you blamed fate for outcomes your own mind quietly engineered? Your thoughts aren't passive, they're actively crafting your existence. But here's the liberating flip side. If your thoughts hold such power, you hold the power to transform your life. What if, instead of resigning yourself to mediocrity, you rewrote your inner script? What if you began each day affirming, "No matter what happens, I have the strength to handle it"? Seneca, another Stoic sage, observed, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." How many of your worries exist only in your mind? Phantoms you painted onto your own walls. By recognizing your mind's power, you reclaim control, rewriting your story into one of resilience and purpose, cultivating the garden of your mind. Your mind isn't a random event generator, it's a garden. Left untended, weeds of doubt and negativity take root, but plant seeds of courage, optimism, and resolve, and those are what flourish. Modern psychology echoes this with cognitive reframing, shifting your view of challenges from threats to opportunity. Yes, this isn't blind optimism, it's deliberate empowerment. The Stoic practice of seeing obstacles as stepping stones, not barriers. Next time negativity spirals, pause. Recognize your thoughts for what they are, choices. As Epictetus put it, people are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. Life isn't happening to you. You interpreting it, interpretations that fuel action, not paralysis. Once you grasp your mind's potential, you realize the power was never out there. It's always been within you, waiting to be harnessed. Shape your thoughts with care, intention, and courage. The mindset divide. Why do some navigate life storms with ease while others drown in worry? The difference isn't luck, it's trained thinking. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Your mindset isn't motivational fluff. It's your life's control center. Picture waking up not groggy and burdened, but confident, ready to thrive. At first, affirmations might feel forced, but every great achievement began as a thought, visualized, believed, and acted upon. Henry Ford famously said, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right." Adopting a resilient mindset isn't about denying life's hardships, it's about reshaping your response to them. The Stoics welcome difficulty as their greatest teacher, the crossroads. Fear or confidence. Every morning you stand at a crossroads. Feed fear or nurture courage. Seneca noted, "We suffer more in imagination than reality." Your doubts thrive, when you let them. But what if you starved them and fed confidence instead? Life won't magically get easier. Negativity will always knock, but you don't have to answer. Interrupt the voice whispering, "You can't." and replace it with, I've handled worse, I've got this. Simple? Yes. Powerful? Absolutely. Your confidence is a muscle. Every positive thought strengthens it. Over time, what once intimidated you becomes manageable, even exciting. Training the mind. We obsess over physical fitness, but neglect mental conditioning. Yet your mind governs everything. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. Start small, 1 minute in the mirror, affirming something true. I am enough. Awkward at first? Sure. But the strength it builds is permanent. Repetition is key. Just like lifting weights, your thoughts need reps. Gratitude over frustration. Reframing challenges. These moments accumulate, rewiring your default reactions. Epictetus taught, no man is free who is not master of himself. Mastery comes from returning to your training, especially when emotions surge. Start with tiny habits, deep breaths, journaling gratitude, a quiet affirmation before a challenge. You're building mental toughness, not fantasy. From belief to action, belief feels powerful until it's time to move. That's where most stall. As Marcus Aurelius urged, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Stop talking, start doing. Action kills fear. Every small step weakens its grip. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort, facing challenges deliberately. Epictetus said, first say T, put yourself what you would be, then do what you must. You don't need a perfect plan, you need one action aligned with your vision. Momentum builds from movement, not waiting. Burn the boats. Half-hearted efforts keep people stuck. As Epictetus challenged, how long will you wait before demanding the best for yourself? Commitment isn't glamorous. It's showing up when motivation fades. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if it's endure it, stop complaining. Life will test you, push through, and you prove your resolve. Burn the boats. Leave no escape route. Your moment of reflection must turn into action. As Marcus Aurelius said, you could leave life right now. That determine what you do. You don't need more time. You need truth. Carl Jung observed, you are what you do, not what you say you'll do. Today isn't just another day. It's a vote for who you're becoming. Seneca warned, it's not that we have little time, but that we waste much. Stop stalling, draw the line, move relentlessly. This is your moment, own it. The illusion of perfection, we often hesitate because we're waiting for the perfect moment. When conditions align, when we feel ready, when fear subsides, but that moment never comes. Perfection is an illusion, a trick the mind plays to keep us safe and stagnant. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The obstacles you fear are the very things that will strengthen you. The discomfort you avoid is the training ground for resilience. Failure's feedback society treats failure like a disease, something to be avoided at all costs. But failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Every misstep is feedback, a lesson in disguise. Think back to childhood. When you learned to walk, you fell repeatedly, but you didn't interpret those falls as proof. You'd never walk. You adjusted, tried again, and eventually succeeded. Somewhere along the way, we lost that mindset. Now we see failure as a verdict rather than a teacher. The Stoics didn't just tolerate failure, they embraced it. Seneca wrote, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Every setback is an opportunity to refine your approach, to grow stronger. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the tide. Discipline, on the other hand, is the anchor that keeps you steady when motivation ebbs. You won't always feel like doing the work, but that's irrelevant. Success isn't built on inspiration, it's built on showing up day after day regardless of how you feel. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, just do what's in front of you. Not what's easy, not what's exciting, just what needs to be done. The power of small wins, big transformations. You don't build a strong body with one workout, you build it with hundreds. The same is true for your mind, your habits, your life. Start small. A single step, a single decision, a single moment of courage. These accumulate, compounding over time into something far greater than you imagined. The choice is yours. At the end of the day, your life is the sum of your choices. Not your circumstances, not your past, not your luck. Your choices. Every moment you're deciding to act or to hesitate. To push forward or to retreat. To believe in yourself or to doubt. The Stoics knew this better than anyone. They understood that while we can't control external events, we can always control our response. The time is now. There will never be a better time. The perfect conditions don't exist. The only moment you have is this one. As Seneca put it, begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. Stop waiting. Start moving. The power to change your life has always been in your hands. Will you use it? The myth of someday. We tell ourselves, I'll start when I have more time, more money, more confidence. But someday is a thief. It steals your potential while you're not looking. The truth is stark. If you won't begin with what you have today, you'll never begin at all. The ancient Stoics practiced memento mori, remembering that life is fleeting. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This isn't morbid, it's liberating. When you truly grasp that time is your most precious and non-renewable resource, excuses evaporate. The courage to be imperfect, perfectionism isn't high standards, it's fear in disguise. It's the desperate attempt to avoid judgment, failure, or discomfort. But here's the paradox. By demanding perfection, you guarantee stagnation. Epictetus, born a slave who became one of history's greatest philosophers, taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Notice the order. Action follows decision, not the other way around. You don't need to feel ready, you just need to begin. The compound effect of daily choices. Your life today is the mathematical sum of thousands of small decisions made over years. That morning scroll through your phone instead of reading, the extra 30 minutes of sleep instead of exercise, the avoidance of that difficult conversation. These micro choices compound into your reality. Seneca observed, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. What small beginning can you make today that will change your trajectory? The art of strategic discomfort. Modern life is engineered for comfort, yet growth lives in discomfort. The Stoics practiced voluntary hardship, not because they enjoyed suffering, but to strengthen their resilience muscle. Try this. Take cold showers, skip a meal occasionally, wake up 30 minutes earlier, have that conversation you've been avoiding. These small discomforts train your mind that you can handle more than you think. As Marcus Aurelius noted, the obstacle is the way. The power of environment. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Your environment shapes your thoughts more than your willpower ever can. Ask yourself, 1, who drains my energy? 2, who challenges me to grow? 3, what spaces make me my best self? Then have the courage to make changes. As Epictetus advised, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Growth often requires leaving behind what and who no longer serves you. The practice of reflection. The unexamined life isn't worth living, but the over-examined life isn't lived. The Stoics journaled daily, not to obsess, but to course correct. Try this nightly ritual. 1, what went well today? 2, what could I improve? 3, what lesson will I take into tomorrow? This 3-minute practice compounds into extraordinary self-awareness over time. And the final question, all philosophy comes down to one question: how shall I live? Not next year, not when conditions are perfect, right now, with what you have, where you are. The Stoics left us a compass, not a map. The direction is clear, toward virtue, toward growth, toward your highest self. The path, that's yours to forge. One deliberate choice at a time. Will you begin? The paradox of control. We exhaust ourselves trying to control the uncontrollable. Other people's opinions, external circumstances, random events. Yet we neglect the one thing truly within our power, our own mind. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. The radical practice of focusing only on what you can influence. Epictetus framed it bluntly. Some things are up to us and some are not. Your reputation, not up to you. Your effort, entirely yours to command. This distinction isn't passive resignation, it's strategic focus. When you stop wasting energy on what you can't change, you unlock tremendous power for what you can. The daily invitation to courage. Every morning, life presents the same quiet invitation. Will you choose comfort or growth? Most days, we don't even recognize the choice. We default to familiar patterns, unaware we're voting for stagnation with our inaction. Marcus Aurelius began his days with this reminder. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. This simple reflection reframes the day from obligations to opportunities. The antidote to anxiety. Modern anxiety often stems from trying to live in two times at once, physically present while mentally trapped in an imagined future. The Stoic solution? Ground yourself in the now through purposeful action. Seneca observed, "There are more things to alarm us than to harm us, and we suffer more in apprehension than reality." When anxiety strikes, ask, 1. Is this threat real or imagined? 2. What constructive action can I take right now? 3. If the worst happens, how would I respond? This 3-question filter dissolves most worries before they take root. The art of negative visualization. Contrary to positive thinking, the Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, imagining worst-case scenarios to appreciate what you have and prepare for challenges. This isn't pessimism, it's emotional inoculation. Try this exercise. 1. Visualize low. Sing something important, health, relationships, freedom. 2. Sit with the feeling briefly. 3. Then return to reality with renewed gratitude. The result? You stop taking things for granted while building resilience for actual hardships. The long game of character. In an age of instant gratification, Stoicism teaches the slow cultivation of virtue. Your character isn't built in dramatic moments, but through thousands of small choices. Telling the truth when it's inconvenient. Keeping promises when no one's watching. Doing the right thing when the wrong thing would go unnoticed. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good person should be. Be one. Not tomorrow, today. In your next interaction, with your next decision. The final reminder. All this wisdom means nothing without application. The Stoics weren't philosophers in the academic sense. They were practitioners of life. Their teachings weren't meant to be admired, but implemented. Your turn begins now. Not with grand gestures, but with the next small, courageous choice. The door to growth always opens inward. Will you step through? The clock is ticking. The world needs your best self. What will you do, not someday, but today, to answer that call? The discipline of desire. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies a radical idea. True freedom comes not from getting what you want, but from wanting what you already have. The modern world conditions us to believe happiness lies just beyond the next achievement, purchase, or milestone. The Stoics called this the hedonic treadmill, an endless chase that leaves us perpetually unsatisfied. Epictetus offered the antidote. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This isn't about deprivation, but about mastering your desires. When you stop needing external validation or material accumulation to feel complete, you become truly unshakable. The practice of voluntary discomfort, modern comfort, has made us psychologically fragile. We panic when the Wi-Fi drops, grow irritable when hungry, and crumble under minor criticism. The Stoics prescribed regular doses of voluntary discomfort to maintain resilience. Skip a meal occasionally. Take cold showers. Sleep on the floor for a night. Wear simple clothing. Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor, reminded himself it's possible to be a good man even if no one else knows it. These practices strip away our dependence on external comforts and reveal our innate strength. The art of objective judgment. Most suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our judgments about them. The Stoics developed a powerful 3-step filter for any challenging situation. 1. Separate fact from interpretation. My business failed. Verse. My life is ruined. 2. Ask, is this within my control? The past isn't. Your response is. 3. Choose a constructive perspective. This is an opportunity to learn and rebuild. As Epictetus taught, it's not things that disturb us, but our opinions about things. This mental discipline transforms obstacles into fuel for growth. The paradox of time. We constantly trade our limited time for trivial pursuits while postponing what matters most. Seneca's words cut deep. You're living as if destined to live forever, never noticing how much time has already passed. The Stoic solution? Practice negative visualization. Regularly imagine your remaining time is short. This isn't morbid, it's clarifying. When you live with mortality in mind, you stop wasting days on what doesn't matter. The courage to be unpopular. In our hyper-connected age, we become addicted to approval. The Stoics recognize this as psychological slavery. Marcus Aurelius warned, it's ruinous for the soul to be anxious about the future and miserable in advance of misery. True freedom requires speaking truth when lies would be easier, standing firm when pressured to conform, pursuing your path despite criticism. As Epictetus put it, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. The ultimate choice, Stoicism, culminates in one piercing question: will you live by principle or by impulse? Every moment presents this choice. Scroll mindlessly or engage purposefully. Complain or take responsibility. Seek comfort or pursue growth. Your life is the sum of these micro decisions. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, your life becomes what your thoughts make it. The Stoic path isn't easy, but it's simple. 1, control what you can. 3, have the wisdom to know the difference. The door stands open. Will you walk through? The illusion of busyness. We wear exhaustion like a badge of honor, mistaking motion for progress. The Stoics saw through this centuries ago. Seneca observed, being busy does not always mean real work. The object of all work is production or accomplishment. True productivity stems from selective focus, doing fewer things better, deep work, undistracted concentration. Strategic rest modeled this as emperors, rising early to study philosophy before governing, proving that reflection fuels effective action. The power of silence. In our noisy world, we've forgotten how to be still. The Stoics cultivated silence as both discipline and weapon against reactive emotions, pausing before responding, against empty chatter, valuing quality over quantity of words, against distraction, creating space for deep thought. Epictetus advised, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. This ancient wisdom anticipates modern research on the cognitive benefits of silence. The practice of mental detox. Just as we cleanse our bodies, our minds require regular purification from 1, toxic inputs, sensational news, gossip, outrage media. 2, comparison traps, social media highlight reels. 3, victim mad myth, blaming others for circumstances. The Stoic method, daily mental hygiene. Morning intention setting, midday mindfulness check-ons, evening reflection, as Marcus Aurelius wrote. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The courage to simplify our lives overflow with non-essentials, material possessions, shallow commitments, digital clutter. The Stoics practiced voluntary simplicity not as deprivation but liberation. Seneca noted, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor. Modern applications include the 90/90 rule. If you haven't used it in 90 days, discard it. Digital minimalism, quality over quantity in tech use. Essentialism, relentless prioritization, the discipline of perspective. When problems feel overwhelming, the Stoics employed view from above, mentally zooming out to see their place in the vast cosmos. This practice, Elijah, reduces self-importance. My problems aren't unique. Increases gratitude. This too shall pass. Reveals opportunities. What can I learn here? Marcus Aurelius kept this reminder, think of the substance of the whole and how small your share is. The final invitation, Stoicism, isn't about perfect tranquility, it's about showing up as your best self amid life's chaos. The tools are here. 1, morning ritual. Set your intentions. 2, mental checks. Question your impulses. 3, evening review. Measure your progress. The philosopher emperors left us this challenge. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Not tomorrow. Now, in this moment, with your next choice. The path is clear, the time is short, the decision is yours. The last step is yours. Ancient wisdom has illuminated the path from Seneca's piercing clarity to Marcus Aurelius's disciplined reflections to Epictetus's unflinching realism. Yet these words remain merely ink on parchment until mixed with the sweat of your effort. The Stoics left no grand finale because philosophy isn't a performance to admire, it's a life to live. Your next action, very small, becomes the true conclusion to this teaching. Will it be the deep breath before responding to provocation, the uncomfortable truth spoken when silence would be easier, the disciplined no to distraction so you can say yes to purpose? As the old Stoic teachers might say, the lecture is over, the training begins. Not in some distant future, but in this very moment with what you choose to do next. The arena awaits. Enter boldly.